You know, it's definitely not something you make a conscious decision for. You know, it just kind of. I've tried to quit, you know, because I've gotten frustrated with it, and it doesn't leave you alone. So.
I hear you. Yeah. So you you're living in Gettysburg now?
Gettysburg, PA. Yeah. We're right downtown. My wife, Jill, and work at the hospital there, and so I have a real job that's got flexible hours, and I try to play when I'm off on the weekends. I'm pretty lucky that way. I work long shifts, so I don't have to work 5 days a week. I work 3-4 days a week. And so that was one of the reasons I've stayed in you know, working as a paramedic, because it's a flexible schedule that way. So.
Yeah. Well, fortunately or unfortunately, there's plenty of stability, I guess. You know.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, because I was having that discussion with my wife. I worked in the computer industry, and
right.
You know, I went through that whole merger, outsource, all kinds of things that happened, and you know, the wage stagnation that happened with that. You know, and I was saying to her like, hey, I just need to find something stable that's you know, good. And yeah, the healthcare industry is just good.
And even that's good. It's unstable, but it's definitely. I'm pretty sure our job will be around, but you never know.
You can't outsource it though.
Yeah.
You know, it's not like, or I don't know. They can't have a paramedic come and get you. Get somebody on a customer service call.
Yeah.
Well, tell me what the problem is.
We'll be there between 8 a.m. and 2 p.m.
Yeah.
All right.
So, you want to play us another tune?
Yeah. Here's this is a kind of in the Pale Barn Ghost vein of songs here. Our cemetery folk rock.
Yeah, I saw that.
This might bring that to light a little more here.
Okay.
This is called 3x8. It's actually the dimensions of a cemetery plot, and they're 5 feet deep, sometimes 4. The National Cemetery is 4 feet deep. So I wrote the chorus around those dimensions, and then all the deaths in this song are actually all actual. The names are all different. But this is actually, every one of these is absolutely true.
All right. Cemetery folk rock.
Well, it's 3x8 and 5 foot deep. Get no rest because death don't sleep. They're piling up at the morgue on the other side of town. So pick them shovels up, boys. Let's get them in the ground. Well, old man Carson lived a fairly long life. It seemed a little too long after the missus died. So he cut a length of rope, walked out to the barn. Now they're side by side again down on the cemetery lawn. It's 3x8 and 5 foot deep. Get no rest because death don't sleep. They're piling up at the morgue on the other side of town. So pick them shovels up, let's get them in the ground. My good friend Chet had a real fast car, not a hot rod for miles, beat that 440 Dodge. There wasn't much left, he should have never tried to pass, except an 8-ball shifter with his hand still attached. And it's 3x8 and 5 foot deep. Get no rest because death don't sleep. They're piling up at the morgue on the other side of town. So pick them shovels up, boys, let's get them in the ground. Well, our backs are always hurting, but we never complain. That one is 10 below freezing in the pouring down rain. We'll make your deathbed a place that you'll be proud to lie at. We'll tuck you in with dirt and pack it down right. And it's 3 by 8 and 5 foot deep. We'll get no rest because death don't sleep. They're piling up at the morgue on the other side of town. So pick them shovels up, let's get them in the ground. Let's get them in the ground.
Man, you have to come back at Halloween.
I have Halloween songs.
Yeah, I was just thinking that. I was reading through the bio here, and yeah, I was like, I bet you get a lot of gigs around that time. Or maybe you were talking about the ghost tours in Gettysburg. There must be a lot of gigs to play around Gettysburg.
You would think. There's a couple good places, but yeah, the ghost tour. It's actually a big annoyance for the people that live in Gettysburg because there's kind of no boundaries as to where people will take their tours. So that you could be sitting in your kitchen and there are people looking in your the whole group.
Oh no.
Yeah, so it's pretty funny that way. But a lot of kooky folks over there, and a lot of musicians, and us townies actually are pretty artsy, liberal group of folks, and great Irish pub, great coffee house there. It's pretty much all you need, really.
There's like a little square right downtown, right?
There's
That's
a
like a rotary or something.
Yeah. Pennsylvania Square is a big circle in the middle of the. But yeah, it's a. But we have a place called the Gary Owen Irish Pub that serves the best Guinness in the area.
Yeah.
Ragged Edge Coffee House, and.
You know what? We were driving. I think that's on Route 30, right?
Right. Yeah. Right on Chambersburg Street.
Okay.
30, which is 30.
Yeah, and that runs also. It runs all the way from. Runs into Philly, and all the way across to Pittsburgh.
Yeah.
And I mean, if you really want to take a drive 30. That's how they used to before the turnpike, I guess. Went in, they came across 30, and I can't imagine what that must have been like driving in an old Model A or Model T or something and going all the way across. But yeah, I did stop there, and I do remember that Irish pub, and I do remember that coffee house because I remember thinking this is really cool.
Yeah.
I was telling you, my third great grandfather fought in the Civil War. He fought there with the 140th Pennsylvania, which were from this area, and they were Gettysburg, they were at Chancellorsville. I'm sure you probably know something about, or maybe Civil War history is something that maybe you just avoid as much as possible when you live there.
I thought I was gonna pick up on all of it living there, but at least I know the places. When I see a History Channel, actually can associate. Oh, that's down this direction, so that's kind of nice. But my wife and I are our plans have been to do a staycation and do all the tourist stuff in our own town sometime because we feel like we don't know enough about it. But
that's the way it is. It's the same thing like when you live in Pittsburgh. You don't. Yeah, we had a steel industry, but most of the people that live here probably don't know that much about what was the Homestead Strike. They don't know any of that kind of stuff. A lot of people, I would assume. But yeah, as far as the Civil War stuff, when we moved out to Kansas, I found out it started there, in Kansas, before it even happened here. John Brown was from Kansas, and he, kind of had the spark when he tried to take the munitions, they stored all the weapons, armory. He tried the Harper's Ferry Armory is what he tried to, and then he was hanged. And it's kind of the spark that started the Civil War. But he was from Kansas, and I only knew that because I met a documentary filmmaker when I was out there, and it all started in 1854 in Kansas before it even happened, where they were fighting over Kansas becoming a free state. Right. They voted and they wanted to be a free state. They didn't want to be a slave state. And Missouri was a slave state. Next thing you know, you had people jumping across the state line killing each other. And that's how. And if I hadn't lived there, I would have
Right.
never,
Never.
ever have known it.